Let's begin with the Smart Fill tool. It comes together with the Smart Drawing tool. These are very important and useful tools. Watch as I use the Smart Fill tool to color only a segment of the shapes I draw, and then move it to a different part of the page. Now, with the ellipse, I make several segments and color them differently. Watch. I could move it to any part of the workspace, keep them there for future use, or to use in the next page. The Smart Draw tool can recognize the shape drawn, and it also makes the shape perfect. This is very useful for doing a quick job and for those who are not so great at drawing. The Smart tool can create perfect curves too. Watch, anywhere in the workspace. It's so easy to create rectangles, and it becomes a square by pressing down Ctrl key. See? But the baseline of all these polygons is horizontal. What if I want the rectangles to have the baseline slanted? Use the 3-point rectangle tool and create rectangles and squares slanted in any direction. Now for ellipses, and press down Ctrl key for a circle. Let's create something. Make a number of ellipses and combine them. You got it! A cloud shape. Let's work on it some more with the Curve tool and Bezier tool. What do we have here? A callout shape. A little later, you'll see pre-designed callout shapes. Let's make another shape using ellipses. Create a circle and an ellipse. Now, this is important. I change the center of rotation for this ellipse and click the corner and drag the rotate handle and also press D to duplicate. And here's a flower. Change the shape combination options if you want, and of course color it. Next, look at some more geometrical shapes. The number of sides in the polygon can be changed. Watch. This star tool, you can create stars of any number of points, and it can be made as pointed as you want. Here's a different kind of star shape, and it can be customized too. Beautiful, isn't it? When you need to draw a graph, use the Graph Paper tool. The number of columns and the width of grid lines can be set to requirement. As it is a shape, its segments can be separated like this. This makes lovely spiral shapes. Watch. Some more basic shapes like the parallelogram and trapezium, etc. Now for some arrowheads. Watch! And these can be used with the basic flowchart shapes like this. For advertising, a lot of banners need to be designed. Here are some pre-designed banners you can choose from. And here are the pre-designed callout shapes. Interesting, isn't it? So we've done callout shapes, banner shapes, flowchart shapes, arrow shapes, and many more basic shapes. Now, the most interesting part, creating text effects. Here's the text in a straight line. Let's make a path and write along the path. Like this. Next, let's learn about the interactive blend tools. This set has the interactive blend tool, the contour tool, the distortion tool, drop shadow tool, envelope tool, the extrude tool, and transparency tool. And all these are interactive, meaning they can be used in combination. Now watch as I make two shapes, one for the start of the blend and one for the end of the blending option I choose. It will also make the colors blend from start to end. Watch how the blended shapes can align a path. And the size can change too. Doesn't it look very much like a string of beads in a necklace? I can make many more changes and also increase the number of shapes in the blend. It's up to me to decide how fast I want the sizes to change. There's degrees of acceleration. The colors too could change. Mind-boggling, isn't it? Let's use the interactive contour tool on this circle. The contours stay together. See? Now to color it. Next we'll see how the distortion tool changes this circle. The further you pull, more the distortion. Color it. Reduce the size. Very interesting, isn't it? And it can be rotated too. And now it looks like a man. Let's use the distortion tool some more. If you observe closely, the text at the bottom of the screen are actually hints to using tools. Now, It tells me how many objects are selected. This is a check for me so that I have not chosen more objects than needed. Now for the interactive shadow tool. By now you know how to create a circle by pressing the Control key as the ellipse tool is dragged on the page. And here's the shadow. Choose from the many styles given. Next is the interactive envelope tool, which is an interesting effect. With this you can stretch and compress the object using 8 available points and give desired shape to the object. Here's a rectangle and I pull all the arrows of the nodes to give an inward and outward curve. There! Let's use it on a circle. Watch! The powerful interactive envelope tool can also be used on text. Watch! This is so interesting. It opens up so many possibilities to be creative with text. CorelDRAW has the facility to apply 3D effect on an object, and it is done using the extrude tool. Let's see how it's done. It's a bit complicated effect of CorelDRAW, but let's cover just the basics at this stage. We can use it on text too, to give it a 3D effect. But creating a proper 3D effect includes using color, perspective and lighting perfectly. This does not seem like a good 3D effect, isn't it? So you see, creating a proper 3D effect comes with experience. The text can be made more prominent by giving it an outline. Watch! Nice, isn't it? On to the next tool. The transparency tool is rather tricky. Watch closely. The two shapes have different color. Drag the transparency tool in one direction. Now, the start handle of the transparency tool is white by default and the end handle is black. Watch how positioning them changes the transparency. Let's use the transparency and other tools to create a painting. Watch closely. Can you guess what they are? Duplicate. If you hold down Control, the object moves horizontally or vertically in a straight line. This picture is too big. Let's move it aside in the workspace and fit it onto the page. Create a rectangle the size of the page. From Effects option in the main menu, choose the Place Inside Container command. Once done, this is how it looks. Beautiful, isn't it? So, we have learnt about all the tools in the Interactive Tools segment. Another interesting tool is the Eyedropper tool. This set of tools holds the eyedropper tool and the paint bucket tool for the color, effect or property selected by the eyedropper. Let's use it on these two rectangles. The color picked from one can be applied to the other. Let's give this rectangle an outline. See, the pick tool can pick both the fill color and outline. Let's see what options the outline pen tool has to offer. Let's create an outline for this rectangle. We can see the edges by zooming in like this. Now, there are several options for the fill tool too. This is the normal uniform fill. The gradient fill has many options. Watch. The pattern fill tools lets us choose from pattern templates. Oh, this fill couldn't apply because there was a pattern already filled. Let's color it plain white, then apply another pattern. Now to change options as needed. There. The last fill tool option is the texture tool. Again to be applied on a plain color background. There are several interesting textures to choose from, and each one has different kinds of options. This is important. The texture fills are rendered as bitmap images which use the RGB color mode. But printing uses the CMYK color mode. So, the colors of your digital image will not match those of the printed image and you will end up with a disaster. This tool has some more texture templates. This last option in the fill tool set allows the color mode to be set as per desired. Watch. Interactive fill tools are used as a quick option to fill an object. The interactive fill tool and the interactive mesh tool comes as a set. Watch how the interactive fill tool also creates a gradient that can be quickly customized to requirement. It can also create a pattern or a texture. Let's use all the tools on this object. By creating this interesting pattern, we end this module introducing CorelDRAW tools.